Hi everyone. So today we're going to learn tenses. I know we have been learning tenses since childhood and it is the most confusing topic for most of the students. So today we're going to learn tenses not just to speak fluently but also to ease your job interview. So if you see here, using the tenses effectively in job interviews. So how tenses play a key role in interviews. We have to understand in which tense we are talking, and it can be self-introduction, it can be project explanation, or it can be internship, or it can be something you want to talk about your future. Doesn't matter, still you have to know how to use tenses properly and effectively. Why do we use tenses properly? To sound professional, at least in the interview, and that makes you to get job sooner. So let us learn few tenses. How many tenses do we have? I know there are 3, and again they're categorized into 4. So total we have 12 tenses. Now, we are not going to learn all the 12 tenses. As I said, we are going to learn 6 tenses, which are most important to clear the job interview or to be confident, at least in the interview. Now, what are those 6 tenses? So I will make sure this class should not be like a typical grammar class. I will include only the important points of how you have to speak confidently and fluently. Now, let us talk more about it. So before even we get started, do you believe in first impression is best impression? If yes, obviously how do we create that? With a proper self-introduction. Now, what do we add in self-intro? So here I'm not going to teach self-introduction. My focus is I want you to understand the usage of tenses in self-intro. So obviously how do we start? You'll greet everyone, you'll greet them, and then you say your name. And next comes your basic information. Now, which tense do we use? So that is the main motto here. So it is simple present or present continuous. Now, why did I add both of them here? For example, so after you say your name, we have 2 options. Like I'm from your native and I'm currently staying. Now, you have to know the difference between living and staying. Live is wherever you're from and staying is a temporary address. So your temporary address should be present continuous, and wherever you live, that should be in the simple present. So you have to only use these 2. And then comes your educational background. Again, that should be, now this should be in simple past. Now why? For example, I completed my graduation, I pursued my graduation. Now that should be in simple past. We can also use present perfect, I have completed. So how do we use these tenses, the sentence structure? I will explain in detail. Now next comes the relevant skills. Again, if you see present perfect tense. Now why did I add present perfect? Anything that you have learned recently, it can be anything. For example, you have learned Python or Java, whatever it is. We can say in present perfect. The sentence structure, I would say. And then comes, for example, you have any work experience. You can still include that. And that should be in the past. Internships, achievements, strengths, hobbies, career goals. Now, if you want to add anything else, you can still do it. But whatever I'm going to say, which I'm like we are focusing on tenses. So if you understand, only in self-introduction, we have simple present, past, and future. So without tenses, we are unable to say even a self-intro. So self-intro, tenses play a key role in self-intro too. So now I have just said these things. But how do we know in which tense we have to use? For example, I just simple present. What is sentence structure of simple present? I have just simple past. Now what is sentence structure of simple past? Let us learn more. So let us dive into the class. Now here comes simple present tense. Now what kind of questions they ask in simple present tense, and how do we identify whether the interviewer is asking which tense? So we have some key points for each and every tense. So let us first start with simple present. Now, what is simple present? So simple present, if you see here, it used to describe habitual actions or facts or something that is always true. Now, let us take a random example. When they ask you, what are your strengths? Now that you have to answer only in simple present. Why? Because you should not say, I am working hard. You're not doing right now. You work hard in the past, present, and future too. So that should be in simple present. Let us talk about some examples. As I said, now if they ask you any strengths, if you see, I have strong problem solving skills and enjoy working on logical challenges. Now that any strength you want to add, that should be in simple present. I have good team management skills. I'm a good team player. I have good collaboration skills. It can be anything, but that should be in simple present. Let us talk about more examples. For example, if the interviewer asks you, what are your hobbies? Again, hobbies should also be in simple present. Very basic mistake. Like whenever a student says, if any interviewer asks you, what are your hobbies? Now, what do you answer? I have seen students answering, I am playing chess very well. I like playing cricket. That is correct. But the first one, I am playing, is continuous. You're not doing right now. So again, you should not use ing form. We have to use the base form, which is V1 form. I hope you know all the verb forms, V1, V2, V3, and V4. So, I enjoy. Now, enjoy is V1, the base form, the very first form. I enjoy reading books and business. I enjoy reading books on business and technology. So, if you want to include any of your hobbies, that should also be in simple present. Again, what about your future goals? For example, what is your goal? Now, again, that can also be in simple present. So, please remember, if they ask your strengths or hobbies or goals, make sure you answer in simple present. So, I aim to develop my leadership skills in the next few years. So, you can have any goal, you can just say that, but focus, that should be in simple present. Now, I have said just a random examples. Now, what is sentence structure? That is very important. If you see, subject plus V1 plus object. Now, what is subject? It can be a noun or a pronoun. Now V1 is, as I said, it's a base form, and object, whatever that connected to. Okay. So as I said, the sentence structure. Now what is sentence structure? Subject plus V1 plus object. But if I say this, would you understand? Let us make it simple. So if you see this one, I just broke down the complete sentence formation in an easier way. Now before even we learn the sentence structure, I hope you know the pronouns. Now what are pronouns? Replacement of a noun. Now, we are not going to learn all the pronouns. We just need 7 personal pronouns. Now, what are 7 personal pronouns? I, you, we, they, he, she, it. Now, this will make your work half easy, because we also have to learn helping verbs. Now, what are helping verbs for simple present? It's nothing but do, does. And the negative form, don't and doesn't. Now, why do I say this? Because not just an interview, if you want to be fluent, or maybe you have a communication exam or a grammar based exam, if you understand this will make your work easy. For example, let us take a random pronoun I. I manage a team of 5 people. Now if you see, I manage a team, now manage is V1. Now if you see the same example with she manages. Now, why do we say she manages? Because that is third person singular, and you have to understand this. We have to add yes after verb. It is still V1. Now, these are the things you have to remember in present simple. Now, what about a negative example? Let us take again a random example. I don't know Python. Now, I have used using don't. Now, I want to say the same example using he. Can I say he don't know Python language? It's again wrong. He does not know Python programming language, or he does not know Python. Now, why do we say? If you understand this, if you divide into this category, you will understand depends on the noun or a pronoun. Now, these are pronouns. How do we say with noun? My friend does not know, or my friend Shiva does not know. Whatever it is, you have to understand one thing. Based on positive and negative, we have to frame a sentence based on these pronouns, and we have to use. Okay, so as we learned how to answer in simple present, what kind of questions they ask in simple present? For example, do you have, what do you like to do in your free time? This is again hobbies. As I said, there are 2 different ways to ask a question. It can be, what are your hobbies, or what do you do in your free time? Just remember, if you have the word do, which means the interviewer is asking a question in simple present. Now, what can the answer be? I just mentioned a random answer just to highlight how we can use simple present. I enjoy reading books on technology and marketing. I also like to stay active by running and participating in outdoor activities. So I enjoy reading. That is simple present. I also like to stay. I'm not saying I'm liking to stay, or I'm enjoying reading books. So these should be in simple present. What else they can ask? Again, what are your traits and strengths? So again, how will you answer? My strengths are problem solving and adaptability. I am quick to learn new concepts and thrive in challenging environments. If you see, I have highlighted few verbs. I'm quick to learn. I'm not saying learning or I will learn, because this is simple present. At the same time, yeah, so that's it. So you should not include ing form or the future form, which means the will form. We should not use those in simple present. Now, what else they can ask? If you understand this, do you work well under pressure? So, as I said previously, understand the question. So, you have to be the good listener. Now, in which tense is the interviewer asking? How do you identify? Based on the helping verb. Now, if the interviewer asks you using do, you can't answer using will form or the past form. So, do you work well under pressure? So, or what do you do when you're in pressure? They can ask in however they want, but you have to again answer in simple present. If you see here, yes, I stay calm under pressure. I break down large tasks into smaller, manageable steps to ensure I stay on track and meet deadlines. Again, if you see all the highlighted verbs that I have done here, I stay calm. I'm not saying I will stay calm if I get pressure or if I get anxiety. No, that's again wrong. So you have to again say in simple present, I stay calm. I break down the large tasks. I stay on track. Now everything is in simple present. Now again, how do you identify? It's again based on the question. So we have come to know how to answer using simple present. Now what about present continuous? I know everyone loves this tense, because any question the interviewer asks, you say in ing form. But only in this we have to use ing form. Now, what is present continuous? Present continuous tense is used for actions that are happening right now or around the present time. Current actions, the present actions, now, around now. So there's few keywords which we have to understand. Now, what kind of questions the interviewer asks in present continuous? So before we learn that, let us understand some examples that we can give in present continuous. See this one. I'm currently learning data structures and algorithms to strengthen my coding skills. So if you see, what are you doing right now? What are you learning right now? In that case, we can say anything like this. I'm actively preparing for technical interviews by solving problems on LeetCode. So anything you're doing to get the job, to get your first job, you can say, because you're still continuing, you're still getting trained. That can again be in present continuous. So basically anything that you are doing at this moment, and all those examples should be in present continuous. Now what kind of questions they ask? If you remembered, for simple present, they use do. Now for present continuous, they use are. If you see, are you learning any tools or software to enhance your abilities? So anything that you do at that point or at this point, you can just say that in present continuous. Now, what is the sentence structure? So it's again subject plus is, am, are plus verb plus ing plus object. Maybe this is a bit confusing part, because anyways you have been learning like this. So if you see here, present continuous. So here the same format. We have learned the personal pronouns. So these are personal pronouns. Now now is, am, are. Now these are helping verbs, the connecting words. Based on the pronoun or noun, we have to change this. Now in the interview, obviously we talk about ourselves, so it's I am. But what if there might be a situation you have to talk about your teammate or your teammates? Based on the pronoun or noun, we have to change it. For that purpose, I'm just making a note. I'm working on an important project. See, what are we doing at this point? We say I'm working. Now this is ing form. They are currently focusing. Now focusing is again ing form. So yeah, now if you see here, I have used are and here I have used am. So because based on these, we will change this. So we have to understand the noun or pronoun. If the interviewer asks about you, we use am. But if the interviewer asks about everyone, including you, maybe what have you all done or what are you people doing, are you. If it is more than one, we use are. About some third person, we use is. So based on the tense, we change the answer. And the name itself has present continuous. The continuous, which means you have to use the ing form in whatever you say or write. So this is about a present continuous. Now we came to know how to use present continuous form. Now how do you identify present continuous? As I said, if the interviewer uses are, what are you doing right now? What are you learning right now? So in that case, we use ing form. Now what kind of question does the interviewer ask? Let us see. If you see this one, what are you currently working on, or what have you been doing since graduation? Now he wants to understand what have you been doing or what are you doing. Now what are you doing is present continuous. What have you been doing is present perfect continuous, which means action started or it's still continuing. So they can ask in combination of these two and you can answer in combination of these two. So what is the better way to answer of what are you currently working on? Now whatever you're doing at this point, you can just say them. Let us check some random example. Right now, I'm looking for job opportunities in IT industry and I have also been taking some courses to improve my skills. In whatever you're good at, you can just say that, which I believe will help me in my career. If you observe, right now, I am looking for job opportunities, whatever he's doing right now. And I have also been taking some courses, which means he started in the past, he's still continuing, even now. So in that case, this is present perfect continuous. So don't get confused. If you don't want to say in present perfect continuous, you can go with present continuous. So yes, and how do you identify present continuous? By if they are using are you, which means it is continuing. So based on that, you can identify. Now let us talk about present perfect tense. So what is present perfect tense? Most of the students use this tense because anything that you have done recently, we use that. We can say that in present perfect. Let us understand the definition of it. Present perfect tense is used to express action that began in the past and has a connection to the present. So, for example, something happened in the past, but the result is still affecting in the present. Or just to make it simple, action that happened very recently, we use present perfect. What have you done recently? I have recently graduated. I have recently finished my project. Anything that you have done very recently, we can use present perfect. But what is sentence structure? So the sentence structure is subject plus have or has plus V3. Now what is V3? V3 is past participle. For example, do, did, done. Now done is V3 or past participle. So you have to understand that. So before even we learn tenses, it is very important for you to learn verbs or forms of verbs. Okay, now let us learn some examples. I have completed my degree in computer science from XYZ University, whatever it is. I have completed. Now, why am I saying I have completed? Because that is something happened very recently. We can also say completed. That is also correct. So, I have improved my communication skills through group assignments and presentations. Any skill that you have learned very recently, we can say that in present perfect also. Now, I have overcome challenges while working on tight deadlines during my internship. So if you have faced any challenges, it can be in your internship or project, or it can be anything, something that happened very recently, we can again say that in present perfect. Now, as I said, the sentence structure is subject plus have or has plus V3 plus object. Now, I have just mentioned have or has. How do you know we have to use have? Like at what situations we use have or has? That is a task. Let us learn that too. So, present perfect. Now, again, this is the simple thing which you can remember based on the nouns or based on the pronouns. So for I, you, we, they, we use have, and for third person singular, we use has. For example, I have taken that laptop, he has taken, she has taken, because that is third person singular and that is something you have to understand. Let us take a random example. I have given interview 2 days ago. Now it's very recent, so we can say I have given. Now have given. Now have is helping verb, given is main verb. Now she has led a team. Now why have I said has? I can also say she have led. But again, that is third person singular. So she is third person singular, so we have to say. So instead of pronoun, we can also say a noun. Don't get confused like just focusing on the pronouns. You also have to replace a pronoun with a noun. Based on that, we have to answer. So what kind of questions they ask in the interview in this. Let us learn that too. Okay, so as of now, we learned the sentence structure and some examples. Now, what kind of questions they ask in the interview in present perfect? Let us learn that too. So if you see here, have you ever faced any challenges while working on a project? How did you overcome them? See, very repeatedly asked questions. What is your project? You have to explain that. And once you explain your project, they would not just go to the next question. They will ask so many questions in project. After you say, what have you done in the project? What, have you ever faced any challenges? And that was this question. So how do you answer? When the interviewer asks you, have you ever faced? You have to also say in the same sentence format. Now, have you is the indication that this is present perfect. Let us take again a random example. Now, these examples are just for the reference. So, you can change or modify them according to your skill set. Okay, let us read them. So, yes, I have faced challenges while working on projects. For instance, during a group assignment, we encountered issues with coordinating schedules which delayed our progress. To overcome this, we have suggested organizing additional virtual meetings and setting clear deadlines for each team member. This approach helped us stay on track and we successfully completed the project on time. So, as I said, you can modify according to your convenience and according to your skill set. But if you understand, I have faced, that is present perfect. Now, I have suggested. Now, that is again present perfect. But if you also understand, if you see here, this approach helped us. Now, helped us is simple past. So, you can answer them using simple past or present perfect. Anything is fine. We successfully completed. This is again simple past. So, you should know how to use tense in different scenarios. If you know the usage of tenses, you can just play around with tenses. So this is just one of the examples I have given. You can take random examples. Now what else they can ask using present perfect? So one question is, have you ever faced? What have you learned in recent times? What have you learned? Again, you can say in present perfect. Just a simple thing, understand the helping verb. Now helping verb for present perfect is have or has. So they'll not ask you asking, with has. So you have only one option using have. Just use that and answer them. Okay. Now comes simple past. So among all the 12 tenses, we have collected the most important 6 tenses in order to crack interview. Now among these 6 tenses, if you ask me what is the most important tense, I would say past tense. Why? Because most of the questions asked in the interview are based on past. For example, tell me your project in the past. Or tell me about your internship. That is again in the past. Have you done any did you do any certifications? That is again in the past. Or tell me your memorable day. Tell me a toughest situation. Tell me your achievement. So any question it is, like most of the questions are from past form or from past tense. So you have to understand how to use the past form correctly. And most of the students make mistakes here. So please understand properly and please listen to this tense properly. Now what is simple past? So a simple or past simple or simple past tense is used for actions that were completed in the past, like describing previous internships, projects, or experience. Any kind of examples that you want to take like this, we have to use past form. You can use a combination of simple past and past continuous. I will tell that a bit later. Now, what kind of examples that you can say in the interview using simple past? Let us learn. If you see, I graduated with degree. As I said previously, we can also say I have graduated. Both are correct. And the second one, I learned advanced Python programming through online courses. I improved my time management skills while juggling multiple assignments. I participated in coding competitions and won second place. These are just random examples I have taken, but you can use according to your convenience. But remember, there was one basic mistake. I was graduated. I am learned. You can't merge 2 tenses in one sentence. So remember this very clearly. If you're using ed, you can't use was or were. That will be in past continuous. I will explain that later. Okay, so these are examples for simple past. Now what is sentence structure? Let us learn that too. Okay, so we just learned examples for simple past. Let us learn the sentence structure. Now the sentence structure is subject plus V2 plus object. Now simple past, like it has only one helping verb. Now what is that helping verb? Let us just see that. So here is an example, here is the structure for simple past. Now it has just one helping verb for all the verbs, for all the pronouns or for all the nouns. It can be did or did not or didn't. Now just take her, as we have already given some examples. I completed my certification. I did not use Python in my project. If you understand, let us take the first example. This is the positive sentence. I completed. Now completed is V2. I completed, I finished, or I graduated. It can be anything. We can say in simple past. Now positive sentence is easy. What about negative example? Let us take the same example here. I did not complete it. Is it correct? It is obviously no. Two past forms should not be in one sentence. So did is past form. Completed is also past form. So we should not use two past forms in one sentence. So if you use did not, now this has to be V1. I did not complete. So that is the reason I did not use, because this is the negative example. So I did not use Python. I did not attend the interview. I did not get selected in the interview. If you understand the negative example, we have to use V1 form. If it is positive example, we have to use V2. And for negative, we use V1. So why I'm explaining this too is because when you want to say a negative example, I don't want you to make this mistake. So please understand, for positive and negative, this is the smallest difference, and I want you to understand that. And with this, we are done with simple past. So we have learned the usage of simple past, but when do we use simple past? Now, what kind of questions the interviewer asks us in simple past? Let us understand that too. If you understand this one, can you tell me about any past experiences that might relate to the job you are applying for? So here, what did you understand by this sentence or the question? So here the interviewer is asking you anything that you did recently that maybe that you can relate that in this progress or in this interview process. So what can you give now what kind of example that you can give in this question? If you see here, just a random example, you can talk about your internship, you can talk about your achievement, or you can talk about your project, anything related to the past. So you have to bring one past incident and then you have to justify that question. So if you see, it's again a random example. During my internship in some company, I worked on data structures where I gained experience in basic operations and efficiency. It was a great opportunity to apply what I learned in the college to real world situations, and I successfully completed the project within the given timeline. If you understand, so every sentence is in the past form. Now, if you know the sentence structure, it will be easy for you to answer. Not just this, you can take any of the examples, but you should know the sentence formation, the sentence structure. Yes, tenses play a major role because at least to some extent you have to be professional, you have to be confident, at least you have to be precise with whatever you answer. So for that, we have to learn. And past tense is important. Now we learned simple past. Now what about past continuous? So here comes past continuous. Now what is past continuous? The past continuous tense describes actions that were ongoing for a period over time in the past. There was some action happening in the past and it was continuing over a period of time. In that case, we use past continuous. So while I was studying, I developed an interest in AI. So very important. If you understand, you should always use the combination of simple past and past continuous. If you see, while I was studying, this is past continuous. I developed an interest in AI. Now I developed is simple past. So it's always recommended for you to use simple past and past continuous. Or I was attending workshops on, like if you have done anything in that, we can just say any of the skills mentioned during my final year. Or while I was developing the project, I faced challenges in API integration. While I was developing, now this is continuous and this is simple past. So understand, if you know the sentence structure, it will be easy for you to combine both the tenses in this way. So here, now what is sentence structure? were and was plus V4 plus object. Now, how do you understand whether we have to use was or were? If you're talking about you, we use was. But what if there might be a situation you want to talk about your complete group or your complete team members? We can't say my team members was helping me a lot. My team members were helping me. So to understand the difference, again we have to break down the complete tense. Let us learn that too. So here comes the sentence structure for past continuous. Now we know two helping verbs which are was and were. But how do we use or when do we use was or when do we use were? Only for third person singular and with I, we use was. And for you, we, they, we use were. So I was, you were, we were, they were, he was, she was, it was, plus V4. And for example, I was coordinating with team to meet deliveries, or my teammates were facing major issues while I was implementing. You can just add on whatever you want to. So my teammates were facing, I was coordinating, and that is the usage of past continuous. So now what kind of questions that they can ask you in past continuous? Let us see that too. So as of now, we learned the sentence structure and some examples. Now what kind of questions they ask? Let us learn that. If you see, were you facing any challenges during your internship? Were you facing? Now this tells that the interviewer is asking a question in past continuous. Now what if the interviewer asks, did you face? Now did is helping verb for simple past. We just learned. So you have to understand how the interviewer is asking question. If the interviewer asks you, did you do any project? We have to, yes, I did. If not, were you facing any issues? No, I was not facing. Or, yes, I was facing issues. Remember, the same sentence structure you have to follow. Now, how can you answer this question? Were you facing any challenges? Yes, while I was working on project, we were facing some delays due to shortage of resources. However, I was collaborating with the team to find solutions and we managed to get back to track. If you remember, I said a sentence, I said a point. Use the combination of simple past and past continuous. If you see, I was working, this is past continuous. We were facing, this is again past continuous. But I was collaborating, this is again past continuous. And we managed, this is simple past. So you can use the combination of both of them. And as I said, we use was. We is plural, so we used were. So for understanding this difference, we have to learn the complete usage of helping verbs, and that we just learned. So what else is left? Here comes the last one for now. So simple future. Now any question they ask about you in the future, you can just make use of simple future. Now the simple future is used for predictions, plans, or decisions about what will happen in the future. Now anything that, for example, they have asked you, what will you do if you get job, or what will you do if you get hired? Again, both are same. So if they ask something that you might do in the future, or your predictions, or something, your commitments, you have to answer them in simple future. So if we can also use, you can also say the same example using the other three tenses, but if you learn this tense, it is more than enough for now, or to crack interview, or to be proficient, or to be fluent. Now, so as I said, it is used to describe your goals, your plans, or aspirations. So any question they ask related to these three, you can use simple future. Now what kind of examples we can use? Say, obviously we know will indicates, now will is the helping verb for simple future, and anything that you want to talk about future, we can use this. Will plus V1. So now what is sentence structure? Subject plus will plus V1 plus object. Now what kind of examples that we can say using simple future? I will apply my skills to contribute to the company. I will dedicate myself to learning and contributing to the company's success. I will continue to develop my leadership skills by taking on more responsibilities. These are such a nice examples you can actually use in the interview. Now, anything they want to ask in the future, about your future, so you can just use any of these. Remember, I am applying my skills. Now, I am apply. That's completely wrong. So you can't merge those kind of sentences. So this is the sentence structure. Now with this, now what kind of questions that they ask? As I just said, let us take a random example. what are your plans for the future, especially in the context of your career. So it clearly says they're asking your future aspirations, or what are you going to do in the future, or what are your plans in the future. So you have to only say in future. So what are your plans? Here they have not mentioned will form, but still you have to understand what are your plans for the future. So every question has a keyword. You have to understand that, and based on that you have to say the answer. Now what can the answer be? I see myself growing as a developer, and I plan to focus on developing my technical and leadership skills. In the future, I will work towards taking on more responsibilities like managing projects and leading teams. So you can use a combination of simple present and future. If you remember the very well I was explaining this self-introduction, I clearly told you. We can also say our goal in simple present. I want to be a developer. I will be a developer is different. I want to be a developer. In that case also, we can say it's a combination of simple present and future. So I see myself growing as if you see this one, I will work towards taking on more responsibilities. Now this indicates future, whatever you're going to do in the future. So I think these 6 are enough. Now what have we learned till now? The first one, simple present. Now what are the helping verbs? Do and does. Now second one, what we have learned, which is present continuous. Now what are the helping verbs for present continuous? It is, am and are. Now third one, what we have learned, which is present perfect. Now what are the helping verbs? It is has and have. Now fourth one, which is simple past. Now for that we use did. Did is a helping verb. And next comes past continuous. And what are the helping verbs? They are was and were. And the last one, which is simple future, and the helping verb is will. So as of now, we learned 6 tenses, and those 6 are enough for you to be at least fluent and confident in the interview. As I said, keywords are must. In what tense they are asking, which means the interviewer asking, based on that, you have to answer the interview or to answer the question. Now, let us see some basic mistakes done with the students. The very first one. So myself, Rohan. Can we say that? Now, when you introduce yourself, we cannot say myself, Rohan, because myself is informal. In the interview, when you have to introduce yourself, we have to say, for example, I'm Rohan. My name is Rohan. Or it's pleasure for me to introduce myself to you. I'm Rohan. Be polite as much as you can, but never say myself. Now, why we should not say myself? Because myself is considered as informal. You are meeting a superior. You are talking to an interviewer. So try to be polite. So this is wrong. It's I am Rohan. Now next, again, very repeatedly, I have seen many students saying the same mistake. I am graduated in 2024. Can we say that I am graduated? As I said, if you're saying I am, we can never say ed form. Now what is it exactly? You can just remove it. I graduated. That's enough. Or I have graduated. Do not say in this way. Now third one, I was worked on a project. So what is the mistake here? I just said previously. So when you're saying I was working on a project, that is correct. Or I worked on a project. So please understand, if you're using was, it should be ing. If not, I worked. Now I worked is simple past. Now I graduated, that is also simple past. Now I am studied computer science. Similar to the second one, I am graduated. Same, I studied computer science. It can be anything, whatever you studied you can say. Now that is again simple past. If I get this job, I am work hard. See, I understand your intention. This sentence, I have taken the same example from a student. So if I get a job, I am work hard. If you get a job, you will work hard in the future. So I will work hard. And this is simple future. I am having experience in this field. Can I say this? I am having. First of all, have is a state verb. Can we say I'm having? For example, I have an experience. That's it. We should not say I'm having. So both are wrong. I have. That's it. I have experience in this field. Now this is which tense? Simple present or present simple. Anything is fine. I have experience in this field. Now, these two, I want you to correct it. Let's go with the first, the last second one. I am belong to Hyderabad. I have seen so many students saying the same mistake. I don't know why. I am belong. And there was a set of students who said in this way. I belongs to Hyderabad, whatever you are, wherever you are from. This is again wrong. This is also wrong. How do we say? I want you to guess and comment down. Now, the last one. While I was doing my internships, I am learning many things. I repeat. While I was doing my I am learning many things. This is again wrong. What could be the mistake here? You are talking about something in the past, but you're saying something in the present. That doesn't make any sense. So I want you to understand these two, and I want you to drop your answers in the comment box. So that's it for now. I hope this will be useful for you, and until I see you in the next video, just learn all the tenses, and I will take a separate class on tenses, just typical tenses, or like all the 12 tenses. So that's it for now. Please subscribe and follow us for more informative videos, and until then, see you.